For over a century, the plaster casts of Pompeii have served as frozen monuments to human tragedy. We look at these hollow forms, caught in their final moments, and naturally project our own stories onto them. When 19th-century archaeologists first unearthed these figures, they categorized them based on the cultural expectations of the Victorian era. Two figures locked in an embrace were labeled as dying sisters. An adult wearing fine jewelry with a child in their lap was designated a mother comforting her child. Modern genetic analysis of bone fragments trapped inside the plaster has now provided a different account of these individuals. The eruption preserved the city in ash, but the early excavations obscured the victims themselves with layers of historical guesswork. In the 1st century AD, Pompeii operated as a vibrant economic hub, drawing labor and ambition from every corner of the known world. The Roman Empire maintained vast trade networks that moved wealth, goods, and people toward the Italian coast. Genetic testing shows that many Pompeians were descendants of recent immigrants from the eastern Mediterranean, Anatolia, and the Levant. The city's population grew through the mobility of these migrants and freedmen, creating a demographic profile far more diverse than earlier historians assumed. This commercial success funded high-status architecture, evidenced by the intricate geometric floor mosaics and columns found in the city's private villas. In residences like the House of the Golden Bracelet, social structures were often defined by legal bonds and adoption rather than biological kinship. Physical artifacts further influenced how early excavators interpreted the dead. When researchers found bodies adorned with items like this gold snake-headed bracelet, they frequently used the jewelry to identify the victims as female. In August 79 AD, the city began to experience earth tremors. Records from the time suggest these were ignored because small earthquakes were frequent in the region and rarely preceded a disaster. The residents remained in their homes and shops, accustomed to the minor seismic activity of a region they considered stable. On August 24, the situation escalated. Mount Vesuvius erupted, and a massive cloud of volcanic ash plunged the city into total darkness. A pyroclastic flow, a wave of white-hot cinders moving at over 100 miles per hour, enveloped the city, instantly trapping those who had not fled. Inside the House of the Golden Bracelet, victims sought shelter in the dark, slumping to the floor as the heat and ash became lethal. As the ash cooled and hardened, it formed a solid casing around the victims. Over centuries, their organic tissues decayed, leaving behind perfect hollow cavities. The eruption left these individuals as empty silhouettes, their actual identities lost until the application of modern science. In the 19th century, Giuseppe Fiorelli filled these ash voids with liquid plaster, creating the famous casts that effectively turned hollow spaces into physical statues. Recently, geneticists successfully extracted mitochondrial DNA from bone fragments that remained embedded within that plaster. One major correction involved the adult wearing the golden bracelet. Though long assumed to be a mother holding a child, DNA reveals this individual was actually an unrelated male. Similarly, the pair of figures locked in an embrace, traditionally identified as sisters, was found to include at least one genetic male. In the House of the Golden Bracelet, the four people found together had no biological relationship to one another at all. These findings suggest that Victorian researchers used their own era's rigid definitions of family and gender to fill in the gaps where they lacked data. The shift from traditional narratives to modern genetic evidence provides a clearer view of the ancient Roman world. DNA is providing these individuals with their actual identities, correcting the labels applied by later generations. If the identities of these famous victims can be corrected after 2,000 years, it suggests that many of our other accepted historical narratives are equally ripe for reevaluation.